welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode. Now I know it's been a minute between vlogs, been a very busy period, some terrible weather in Melbourne for the last couple of months, but we're back and going to start off with a nice easy vlog today. We're going to do a run through of my 2022 or end of 2022 all my rod and reel outfits. There's quite a few to get through, and we've got an exciting giveaway today as well from MILLERODS, as well as some merch from me. So to the winner of from this video, you'll get a new hoodie, some PMF brim hoodie, which is now available at paulmalloyfishing.com. So jump on there before your size is gone, as well as a very exciting new release, FlatsFreak 7'9" from MILLERODS as well. So big thank you and a shout out to Ian at MILLERODS as always. So hoping not to do too much editing today in this video, but we've got quite a lot to get through, so let's see if we can do it in one single take. You guys have probably seen one of my videos before where I do a run through of all the rods and reels, what I use them for, the type of I guess situation, scenario, line and lure. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. As I said, there are quite a few to get through. Had to create a little cheat sheet just to remind myself of all the specs, especially in the offshore gear. So first rod that I'm going to pick up, what we're going to talk about, is the MILLERODS Grub Freak. So this is a 7'3", 1 to 3 kilogram rod. These are single piece with a small join here at the top of the butt. Now I've got 3 of these. I've got 2 customs with cork, and then one of the production rods as well that I picked up a couple of years ago. And just a quick call out, I suppose, to everyone. Once we go through all of these, there's quite a few here, and it's a great, kind of list of combinations, but just something to be mindful of. I have, picked these up over a large number of years, so for anyone who's starting out, this is definitely probably a bit of an overkill, definitely not needed, and you can fish, have a great time, fish competitively without going to this level. But this walkthrough is about, I guess, the outfits that, that I've picked up over the years. Anyway, so the Grub Freak, sensational soft plastic rod, nice and light. This combination, I've paired up all my Grub Freaks with the 2015 Exist. So these are 2003 F models, and I'm running 10-pound Unitica braid. And generally speaking, I tend to run 4 to 6 pound leaders, and little soft plastics such as Grubs or Z-Man paddle tails such as the Slim Swim. And the reason I have 3 of those is in tournament situations, it allows me to run 3 different types of plastics on the rods without having to stop and re-rig, so it saves me a lot of time in tournament situations. So there are 3 of those. I'm not going to go through every single one individually, as I mentioned, they are essentially identical, especially with the line and the reels that they're paired up with. Now the next one is a BladeFreak from MILLERODS again. So this is a 7'3" again, but this is a 2 to 4 kilogram rod. And I find this perfect, as the name implies, for blading, as well as some of your bigger hard bodies, such as a chubby or a spike. So spike 44, spike 53, jackal chubby, etc. This rod is absolutely perfect. It's got nice, great give in the tip, so you tend to pull a lot less hooks than with some other rods. And I find this a fantastic addition to my arsenal. Only been added probably 12 to 18 months ago, and really enjoying this rod. Also paired up with a Daiwa Exist 2003 F and 10-pound Unitica braid. On to the next one. Here we have the new FlatsFreak. Now, this is a 7'9", 1 to 3 kilogram rod once again. Now that 7'9" gives me that extra casting distance. Now, really important when you are flats fishing in clear water, when those fish are a little bit wary or spooky, that extra 3 meters, 5 meters can really make the difference between getting a bite and scaring the fish away. So this has been a great addition to my arsenal. Also, it's not a small fish rod, in that it's got a lot of power in the butt section. A nice light tip which allows you to cast those light soft plastics, light little stick baits, unweighted plastics, but a lot of power here to land those bigger fish. And a great example of that was at the Marlow competition, Vikram tournament about 2 months ago. Our two biggest fish, over a kilo, kilo and a half, came on the FlatsFreak. So really pleased with it. Once again, paired up with a Daiwa 2015-2003 F Exist with 10-pound Unitica braid once again. And, apologies, and more details about the giveaway will come in later in the video, where I'll talk about what you need to do in order to be in the chance to win one of these new FlatsFreak rods from MILLERODS. And the other, before I wrap up on the FlatsFreak, just quickly wanted to touch on the fact that this is a true two-piece rod. So a lot of the longer MILLERODS previously, the join was at the top section of the butt, whereas due to its length, this is a true two-piece rod, where the join is about halfway up the body, which allows you to, fold it in half, and it's quite compact to travel with. But the way that technology is going these days, the materials that are used, the technology to make that ferrule and that join, it really almost feels like a traditional single-piece rod. You don't feel any action difference with that join there. It's still very crisp, very clean, and allows you to travel. So some great benefits of this true two-piece rod. Okay, let's keep moving. Now the next two are the MILLERODS TwitchFreaks. So these are a 6'10", 2 to 4 kilogram outfits. I've paired these up with the new 2022 Daiwa Exists. These are 2500 sizes. And the TwitchFreak I tend to use for my slightly heavier plastics, or things such as, again, the name implies, twitching hard bodies around. So SX43s, SX60s, MWs, Daiwa double clutches, etc. So a fantastic all-rounder. Can use it for crabbing, light muscle work, etc. So these are a fantastic little outfit with the new 2500 size Daiwas as well. If you guys saw my earlier video on the Exist and the unboxing and my very first one, you'll find that I compared it with some of the previous generation Exists, and from a size perspective, this really fits between your traditional 2000 and your older 2500 sizes. So the new 2500 size fits really well on a number of different rods, whether they're your traditional lighter rods or your traditionally heavier rods. These new 2500s from Daiwa really do fit well on a number of different outfits. And I'm running Dangan 16-pound 8-strand braid on this, on both of these outfits actually. Now onto the next one. Now the next one is the MILLERODS Brawler. So now I've got two of these, but one is the new production model with a 2500 XH Exist. This is the 2022 model, and the older version is a custom. So for those that follow me on socials, you guys know that I spoke about some insurance, and one of these outfits has unfortunately gone swimming about 4 or 5 months ago now. So my old custom from 2014, this Brawler and this Exist, I had two of these and had to replace it with one of these. So over the years, this custom rod has become a little bit softer, and so I would say that the new production rod is definitely a lot faster in its tip. So I tend to use this now for heavy soft plastic work, in structure, around jetties, pylons, that kind of thing. And the old custom I now tend to use for times where I need a slightly softer tip. So situations such as crabbing, I find that this custom Brawler is really suited well for that now. So these are a 6'9" and 2 to 5 kilo sticks. So they're quite ballsy, allow you to make nice accurate casts around the structure and have that backbone to really winch those fish out. And speaking of winching, the next rod is very close to my heart. Now, this is the new BassFreak XH from MILLERODS. This is a 6 foot, 4 to 8 kilogram rod. And I am running a 3000 XH exist. This is the 2022 model with 20-pound Dangan braid on this. And this really is the big come here stick for me now. It's perfect around bridges, around pontoons, around really heavy timber when you don't want to give fish an inch. So this is the rod for that purpose. The last rod on this side of the rack is a BassFreak M. So this is a 2 to 5 kilo, 6 foot rod. Just a lighter version of the XH, being that really beefy 4 to 8 kilogram outfit. 2 to 5, I'm able to throw light plastics, crabs in and around structure. It's got a much softer tip than the 4 to 8 kilogram rod, so it does allow for much more accurate casting and those little flicks where you want that rod tip just to do a little bit of the work for you. And the reason why it hasn't got a reel at the moment is the reel off this rod, the 2003, is sitting on my FlatsFreak. And what I wanted to say about this, the BassFreak, is I found that it's quite, due to its length and the short butt, it's really quite sensitive for me from a balance perspective of what reel matches up well with it. So I found that a 2003 exists, or a similar reel of similar weight, matches up really well on that BassFreak M. But I've also found that the new exist, the 22 with the 2500 XH also matches up really well on that. So what I'm waiting for is for Australia to have stock of the new 2022 2500 XH, and that's what's going to go onto this BassFreak M. And the reason that I use the XH ratios is to allow me to gain more line with every wind of that handle to pull fish away from structure, especially for the rods where, you know, they're structure specific outfits for me. So that's why this rod currently does not have a reel on it. What we're going to do, let's turn the rack around. Now I've got some of the real heavy stuff on this side, and as you guys can see, my little cheat sheet, just so I don't forget anything, don't do anything any injustice. Now onto the next side. This is the 2500, apologies, this is the FlatsFreak LC, so the long cast. This is 7'5", 2 to 5 kilogram, and this is really starting to move into your kind of bass territory. I use this rod a lot for pinkies in Port Phillip Bay. I think this is a great, like a light reef outfit. It's a great slow rolling plastic outfit for bass. Great for like shaky heads and drop shotting. Absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, I'm able to throw like a 1/16 or a 1/12, a little soft plastic, a little bait junkie there from a land-based session. So that extra length just allowed me to make those nice long casts when I am wading around, and still got a lot of power with that 2 to 5 kilogram blank to get those bigger fish in, even if you are land-based. So that's a great little outfit there. Now the next two are identical once again, and these are one of my true favorites over the years. I think Ian absolutely nailed this one, and this is my two custom Beast Busters, but these are 6'9" and 3 to 6 kilograms. So these are my other, or have been in the past, my real heavy snag rods, snag outfits, as well as structure. So these rods are essentially, you know, what did the damage for us at Paynesville in the earlier competition this year, where we caught the heaviest bag of all time for 5 fish in a tournament situation. So yeah, single piece rods, cork grips, so great sensitivity, and we use these to throw heavy soft plastics, mussels, vibes, and they're probably a little bit too heavy in the tip for crabs, especially the small crab, as they tend to pull hooks or straighten hooks out. So these are really good on the bigger crabs. I think that'd be the 50, I think, with the big claws, but the small crabs are just too small and too finessey for this type of rod. So that's why we use something with a nice beefy hook, or really beefy trebles such as ST3612's owners. So I've got 2 of these matched up with 2510 PE or 2510 PH exists. These are the 2015 model once again, and running I think 20 pound or 16 pound Dangan braid once again from Major Craft. So 2 of those, and that brings to the end our brim bass section, and we move into the offshore outfits. So the next 2 are production rods. So we've got some Buster LMs, and these are, what are these again? These are 5 to 8 and 7'6" outfits, and I tend to use these for, you know, little stick baits such as Marias and Blues Codes, Bass Day bungee casts. They're absolutely fantastic for that. I've got a nice light tip, so you're able to just absolutely punch out those lures a long way. Running 5,000 Certate arcs with a high gear ratio on these, just to enable me to wind quickly, catch up to that lure, and get it, you know, burning in front of those pelagic fish such as kingfish and bluefin tuna. Now, what I did find as a limitation of these 2, the Buster LMs, was due to their 5 to 8 kilogram rating and that light kind of tip nature of the rods, I was really struggling to throw anything quite heavy on them, such as a Maria Pop Queen or a significant popper. So what I essentially reached out to Ian for, and what we worked together on, is building these 8 to 12 kilogram Buster toads, and these are also 7'6" rod with that grip further up the blank for fighting fish. 7'6" once again, so allows me to cast those bigger poppers, bigger stick baits a long way. Paired them up with an 8,000 Certate SWH with that high gear ratio once again to allow me to pop and walk the dog and spin quickly for those pelagics once again. I think I'm running probably 40 pound Tas line here, 40 or 50, and on the arcs I'm running 30 pound Tas line there, and leaders will just vary depending on the situation and what I'm chasing on a particular day. So there's 2 of those. The other one does not have a reel on it right now because it's sitting on one of my trolling rods, so we'll move on to those now. So these probably be the last 2 that we'll speak about today, and these come from the Daiwa stable. So because I don't do a lot of tuna fishing, I don't do a lot of kingfish fishing, it really didn't make a lot of sense to go out and get another custom set of rods made. So I looked at the Daiwa range and picked up these 2 Demon Bloods. So this first one is a 3 to 5 kilogram PE 3 to 5, 7 foot Demon Blood. I don't know any other specifics, that's really it. Yeah, S702 3-5, and I've got that paired up with a Daiwa Saltiga BJ 4000, and this is running the Sunline Advan or ADV braid, and this is roughly in that 40 pound breaking strain kind of range. And this is my lighter trolling rod. So this allows me to troll a skirt, allows me to troll halcos, 160s, 190s quite easily. It's just got that slightly stiffer tip. And this is just a rod that I'm not too worried about, putting a knock into, for example, as opposed to some of the millers, which are a bit more, I guess, probably not so suited to that kind of environment, especially with those split grips, whereas this is a much better trolling option as well. That's probably the key point that I wanted to point out, and something that Ian mentioned to me, with those split grips, they're really designed for casting and not a trolling stick. So that's really the key point there and the reason why. And the final one is the heavy one. I'll put that aside for a minute. And this is another Demon Blood. So this is the S69, so 6'9", and this is PE 4 to 8. So I think this allows for a casting weight of up to 200 grams. So quite a beefy stick. And this is sharing or borrowing one of those 8000H Daiwa Certates off of one of my custom beast busters there, the toads. So essentially I've got, you know, 2 of the arcs for my light stuff, and then 2 of the heavy 8000 H's, which I can swap easily between the trolling rods and the casting rods. Alright, we'll put these back, and now let's talk about the giveaway for the MILLERODS FlatsFreak. Now, as you can see, getting a bit warm here in the backyard, but quick shout out once again to Ian and the whole family. Big thank you for providing one of these brand new rods to one of you, one of the subscribers here on YouTube watching this video today. So couple of little I guess notes about the giveaway and the contest. Unfortunately, due to the shipping of these, this competition is open to Australian residents only, and you have to be a subscriber of Paul Meller Fishing YouTube channel to be eligible to enter, please. So in the comment section down below, I'd love for you to tell me what your favorite outfit was out of all the ones that we've discussed today, or thinking about MILLERODS range, is there a rod currently not in the production range that's available that you would love to see in the future? And then if you're using a nickname on YouTube, I'd love for you just to put your real name, your state, and then a comment around one of the rods, whether in the range or whether something that you'd love to see in the near future as well. So that's it, that's all you have to do. And then in a week's time, after this video goes live, I will draw the winner as per my usual random draw generator that I use for all my other giveaways. So good luck. Thank you everyone for watching once again, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Once again, big shout out to Ian and the whole MILLERODS family. So yeah, big thanks. And one of these Paul Meller Fishing brim hoodies is going your way as well, to whoever the winner is of this giveaway. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.